कौन है?
ये तो चालू है, ये चालू है। Hi Riyanj, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
So we'll take couple of more minutes. Please wait.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, ठीक है. So we have this board and वो ये वाला कैमरा चालू है. Change. I'm very sorry, give me 2 minutes more.
Sure.
I'm just setting this up. So this is what we are doing today, Rayansh. This is reading chapter 3, where we are talking about the skill of central idea or the main idea, central idea based questions or the main idea based questions. In this kind of skill, this is relatively simpler, where the steps remains the same. Step 1 is where you read the passage. Okay, the idea is to find central idea or main idea as they call it in a given question on SAT paper. So the first step is of course read it. Second stage would be where I will try and summarize it and rephrase it into a couple of lines, not more, 1 or 2 lines, the whole passage to understand what it is talking about. And then I will go to the options and I'll visit the options. I will test them and eliminate and choose whatever suits me. So I'll make a choice here of the right option or of the selected option. So overall, the skill remains same, where we are reading it, we are trying to summarize it for central idea, main idea question. We are trying to summarize it in our own words in 1 or 2 lines, and then we are testing whatever we have summarized against the options and eliminating something that does not fit. And again, the caution word is here that we don't have to overstretch, over-justify. Whatever we have summarized, it should naturally fit in among the options that we have, and we'll select that option. So for example, let's take a question as an example. I will share one problem on screen and then please. So let's look at this particular paragraph. And if you read, so you read it and then we will discuss.
Okay.
Let me know when done.
Okay, I'm done.
Done?
Yeah.
So the question says, which choice best describes the main idea of the text? So needless to say, this is a main idea problem. Now, the second step says, so I am not right now showing you the options. So if you look at the passage, what and how would you summarize this? Let's say if I only give you a couple of lines. You have maximum 2 lines or a line to summarize whatever you have read.
I'll say what you call, we can expand the area of primary sources to by using political cartoons, advertisements, and artwork, which is very helpful to understand the movement and is a crucial and diverse role for Black women.
Okay. So see, one thing is correct. I agree with your approach that the main idea is somewhere. The main idea is somewhere between historian Ashley Diff. Farmer has shown that expanding from there all the way up to Black women played in shaping it. So let me make an attempt, and I use this board. Let's say if I have to summarize it, I will stop share for a moment. Go back to the board. And I would say that the scholar or the researcher, whosoever she is, she's saying that Black power movement, the study on black power movement, let's say, this should be expanded by using more secondary sources so that we understand the role of black women in these movements, right?
Yeah.
Saying that yes, there is something called as black power movement, but you need to go beyond the sources and use some more secondary sources. Secondary sources mean sources that you have not done on your own. They are not primary source, but somebody else's source. You need to study them so that you understand the role of black women.
Yeah.
Okay, if that is the case, now let us test this understanding by going to the options, basic, and share. Incorrect, correct, maybe.
It's incorrect.
Before farmers' research, historians had largely ignored the intellectual dimension of black power movement. No way. We are not talking about any intellectual dimension here. Rather, farmer is more talking about role of a particular gender.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah.
So absolutely correct. I'll agree with you that A is not the answer. Let's come down to B. Correct, incorrect, maybe.
No.
No. Okay. Let's come down to C.
Maybe.
Maybe. So let's debate this more. Other historians of black power movement have criticized farmers' use of unconventional primary sources. Have they criticized? Is this passage talking about any criticism? No criticism. And no unconventional primary sources. All these are secondary sources. Cartoons and all artworks. So for sure, she is not the answer. No criticism is happening anywhere.
The figure in the black movement. I think it's B.
The answer is B, as in B stands for ball, right? B for ball.
Yeah.
Yes, because farmers' method. Now, if you look at D, the figure in black power movement, whom historians tend to cite, would have agreed. Would somebody agree to farmer or not is not what this passage is talking about.
Yeah.
Whole idea is farmer is saying that please broaden your horizon, look into other sources, and you will see that black woman has a significant contribution in black power movement. That's all she's saying. So after you read all four, of course, you said D is not the answer and you were tending towards C, but then you did not have luxury of looking at all four. So I'll give you that benefit of doubt. But if you look at this, once I have summarized it in my own words, it becomes easier for me. And this can go subconsciously as you practice more. It becomes easier for me then to test options, eliminate and pick my best. And I'll always advise reading all four options. Okay, let's do one more test. This question. So before you go ahead, Ray, this is not so much of main or central idea question. This refers to a particular phrase that has been used in this paragraph somewhere. So you are supposed to analyze that phrase and find your answer.
Okay, cool. Is he?
Okay, so now can you give me in your own words? Let's say if there are no options, why does Bill regularly ask about seafaring men?
So I'll say Bill is trying to, what do you call, ignore or like not interfere with those guys like the other ones.
So I got one particular point of yours. You'll have to repeat for me. Sorry. Wait, let me share my board and I'll write down whatever you say. So I got one keyword of what you said. You are saying that to ignore. And what did you say?
What do you call? They wanted to avoid him.
To ignore. To avoid.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now this is my catchphrase. I will test this thing with all the options that I have. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Go back. Basic, slide, share. I'll give you all 4 options in one go.
Okay. Is it D?
Okay, let's see. So now C will not be an answer. He's hoping to find an old friend and a fellow sailor. So why would somebody want to ignore or avoid? C is not the answer. Let's look at alphabet. B. He's trying to secure a job. There's no reference about or around that.
Yeah.
A. He isn't sure that other guests at the inn would be welcoming of sellers. So other guests, again, not talking about it. But if you look at D, he doesn't want to encounter, fit with your ignore and avoid strategy, any other sailor unexpectedly. So maybe there's some story behind it, but for sure we know that he is ignoring and avoiding. Answer is option D. Absolutely correct. Right?
Yeah.
Let's do one more, and I give you question and all 4 options in one go, and I give you a minute's time. Go ahead.
Okay.
So sorry. Read, summarize, test.
Is it C?
C. Okay, so I would want to understand why not D. Pierre has a good sense of humor.
Okay. So I don't know what that word is. Peer was something. And then, there is a sentence, it says, how to enter a drawing room and still less how to leave one. That means like, I would say it's awkward.
Yes. So there's a phrase which says, he did not know about entering the room and even less about leaving that room.
Yeah.
And he would leave unagreeably. And then, the general asked him to restore it. So this is not about good sense of humor. There's nothing positive in this passage about Pierre. He was deliberately unpleasant. No, possibly that's not the reason. But yes, and B is entirely opposite. He was not formal in any way. Rather, he was very casual. So physically and socially awkward. Physical description is there in first couple of lines, and socially awkward is described later. So answer is option C, right?
Yeah.
This is about this is about your chapter 3. So I would want to go to exercise now. And if you have access to that PDF, and I am on question number 1 in that PDF, reading session 3, classroom worksheet, central idea and detailed questions. Are you there?
Yeah.
So I want you to come to that and we do question number 1. And let me give you 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
Very nice.
Is it just like I'm not Is it D?
You said D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. I want to understand why not B,
D.
option B.
Okay, so it says in option B, the children don't like the house nearly as much as their parents do. But then at the last sentence of the paragraph, it says, and so the White House seemed to them a sort of fairy place.
Yes. So rather, it's exactly the opposite. Where children like the house, but parents don't like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And and what about A? The house is beautifully.
No, that's totally opposite.
Yes. And what about C?
Yeah, I was confused between C and D. But then I was like, C doesn't make sense because it says different characteristics of the house.
Because C says each member of the family admires. Where all members of the family. No, they are not admiring. Not everybody is admiring.
Yeah.
So answer is not C, it becomes D. Although their parents believe the house has several drawbacks, the children are enchanted by it. Okay, let's go to question number 2. Equally interesting problem, 90 seconds. Question number 2.
Okay.
Second one.
Is it D?
You said B?
D.
D again.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see. So before I come down to this option, what's problem with option number B? B as in Bombay, B as in balloon.
It says to a frequently visited location.
Absolutely right. So the person is not visiting frequently, so that's the problem. A, there is no mention of how he overcame this challenge. It's not about overcoming a challenge. What about C? Where is problem with C?
Yeah, I was confused with that too, but then it says that he took through some beautiful. He didn't go there. It was by mistake.
Okay, so here is my reasoning. Answer is D for sure. During the pedestrian trip last summer, though one or two of their river counties of one or two of river counties of New York, I found myself as the day declined, somewhat embarrassed about the road I was pursuing. The land undulated very remarkably. My path for last hour had whirled about and about so confusedly that in its effort to keep in the valley, that I no longer knew in what direction. Now, if you look at C, the narrator recalls fond memories. Now, there's word that is used as somewhat embarrassed about the road I was pursuing. And here they say that the narrator recalls fond memories of a journey that he took through some beautiful river counties. So for sure, embarrassment and fond memories, they are not going hand in hand, and hence C is not the answer. Okay, D is correct. The narrator remembers a trip he took. Among them, this is the most apt. The narrator
Even if they remove the word fond, wouldn't still D make sense? Because like directly.
Yes, I agree. If fond would not have been there, then C and D are very, very close, and it becomes difficult to choose. I agree with you. Narrator remembers a trip he took and admits to getting lost. Narrator recalls memory of a journey that he took through some. Yes. If font is not there, then it becomes really dicey, and we will not be able to decide which one should be picked.
But can we just go for D then if font wasn't there?
So in a real test, this shouldn't happen because then these two options become very close. If font is there, that gives me a reason why I'm not choosing C and I'm tending towards D. But if font is not there, then I think there will be equal arguments in favor of C and D, and will be difficult to decide.
But can't you just say that they never talked about beautiful river counties and?
Okay, let's see. So one or two of river counties of New York that he took through some beautiful river counties. Road I was on last year, but an effort to keep the valley that I no longer knew in what direction. Yeah, this becomes, I mean, yes, this is a good question you've asked me. So this becomes a bit tricky. If there's no font here, he's recalling memory for sure. About that he took through some beautiful river counties. Now, were they beautiful or they were not beautiful? Or they were ugly? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay. And there's no mention of what were the kind of these rivers. There's no adjective around it. I think I have to accept your point here that even if beautiful is mentioned, I would still pick D. If font is not there, but beautiful river county is there, I'll still pick D. But I'll tell you, this is very, very, very close now because beautiful river county, and he's not talking about being it beautiful or ugly. So how am I assuming that this is beautiful river county?
Yeah.
Good one. No, so I don't have a direct answer. I guess classifying this without font, I'll still pick. Okay, so here is my take. If there is no font, but there is beautiful river county, and then there is something called as D, the narrator remembers a trip he took and admits to getting lost. Since this is main idea, so you've asked a very good question. Since this is a main idea question, and here is my defense in favor of D. Since this is a main idea question, if you look at option D, this possibly captures two important details of this passage, which is not there in C. The first detail is that he is recalling, there is a memory recall of a journey. And second is, if you look at that, my path for last hour had wandered about and about so confusedly, which means there is a confusion while he was traveling, tending to getting lost. Okay, right?
Yeah.
So option D covers all the important details of the passage, and option C misses this part.
Okay.
Though option C without fond memories will cater to recalling something, but it's not, because this is main idea, it is not addressing the second important detail given in the passage, which is getting lost.
Okay.
Okay. But that was a good question that you asked me. If no font, then can we pick C? I say no, you cannot still pick C. You will pick D, because this is not a phrase related question. This is still a main idea question. And in main idea, the option should cover all important details. One is recalling the journey. The second is getting lost in that journey.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go to the third one. I'll give you 2 minutes for the third one. This is a good challenging question.
Okay.
And this is not main idea. So you will read and you will realize. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Just like.
What does the text most strongly suggest about conventional ETL fabrication? You're only supposed to answer with respect to this, about this detailing. Nothing about main idea. Among the option, you can tell me which for sure is not the answer. We can start with that. Which option is obviously out?
C or D?
C. If you give me a choice, my first my first intent or my first reaction is C for sure is not the answer, because they are asking me something about conventional ETL fabrication. So what I will do is, after first reading, I'll go to the third line and I'll read it again. Conventional ETL fabrication is accomplished using a solution of nanoparticles. The process can result in loss of up to 80% of the solution, increasing the cost of manufacturing at scale, an issue that may be obviated by so. Now let's come down to C. It is somewhat imprecise. Okay. Therefore, limits the potential effectiveness of pin planar perovskite solar cells at capturing and storing solar power. Now, we know that it is costly to produce because you lose 80% of the solution. But
yeah,
it will not be able to capture and store solar power. That is not mentioned.
They say to cancel C and D, right?
Sorry?
You can cancel C and D.
Yeah, so C is not the answer, right?
Yeah. I'll say B is the answer.
You said B.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. D is also not the answer. We agree. Now let's come down to A. Before we defend B, can you tell me why not A? I'll read A for you. It typically entails a greater loss of nanoparticle solutions. Seems good. Then to other established approach for ETL fabrication. Bolo, where is the problem here?
We don't know about the other established approaches.
Absolutely right. There's no comparison happening. So I really don't know about the other established approach. So answer happens to be B.
Okay.
It is less suitable for manufacturing large volumes, which is directly given in a way in the passage, manufacturing at scale, which is manufacturing large volumes, then alternative fabrication method may be. Okay.
I was confused between B and D. I'm not sure why D is not the answer.
B and D you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to D. And I'll tell you where is the problem in D. So we are doing between B and D. I read D. It is more expensive when manufacturing at scale. Sounds good. Then our It is more expensive when manufacturing at scale than our processes of fabricating ETL used in other P solar cell architecture. So what it is saying is that this is more expensive manufacturing at scale. This is all good. Then our processes of fabricating ETLs used in other P solar cell architecture. I really don't know about other solar cell architecture.
Oh, they're basically comparing again. Okay, got it.
So they are now comparing the architecture. We are talking about pin, solar planar, solar cell. They are talking about other architectures as well.
Okay.
I don't know. So answer is B. How about no? So this is okay. How about yes? We'll go to question number 5.
Okay. And many of us. Is it C?
C. Any other confusion?
I'm confused between A and 2.
C versus A, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you ask me, one thing is for sure, option D can never be an answer because, he altered his approach to sculpture over time. There's no time period and alteration we are talking about. So D is not the answer. Let me come down to A versus C. I will read A first. He often depicts the subject of its sculptures using an unrealistic style. This makes sense. Be it people, be it abstract idea or mythical characters, he is doing that. Let's look at C. He tends to base his art on important historical figures rather than on fictional characters. Are you sure? let's read the first two lines. A
Oh,
man
okay.
Did you get the hint here?
Option. Okay, so he tends to base his art on important historical figures rather than fictional characters. In his first major work,
Yes.
changed into a spider, although Wego human mystery. Okay, never mind. It's not C. It's not C.
So what do you say then? A?
Yeah, A.
Yes, answer is A.
Oh, I read the first part. I just jumped to the journalist and the activist thing.
Okay. So yeah, so there was this mythical character, a weaver who was changed into a spider, and he did all of these things. So yes, he uses unrealistic styles for his subject. Answer is A. Let's go to 7th, 6th. Very easy.
Which one?
We are going to the 8th one. Question number 8.
Okay. To protect themselves when being attacked. Researchers want to produce the thread in the lab. Because farming hagfish with their slime would be expensive and potentially harmful to the okay.
Yes, please announce your option.
I'm just reading the options right now.
Which one? Sorry.
I'm reading the options.
Okay. So sorry.
Okay. I'll say it's I think it's D. So we can put D first, and then can we also talk about C?
Okay, D and C. Okay. D or C. Okay.
But in the exam, I would just go for D, because like it's connected to it. But then the C also makes sense because they're making a new fabric too.
Okay. Got your point, Ray. And now let me tell you why not C. What is the problem? And I think that you will be able to see through. Just hold on. So I'll read this. So protect themselves when being attacked. I'm just reading this. Hagfish, jawless marine animal that resembles an eel, will release some large quantities of slimy muscus-like thread. Because these are unusual, strong, elastic, the scientist, her colleagues trying to recreate something in lab which is eco-friendly, an alternative to petroleum-based fibers that are often used in fabrics. The researchers want to reproduce the thread in lab because farming these ships for their slime would be expensive and potentially harmful to hagfish. Let's go to the C.
I know why it's not C.
You go ahead first. Yes.
It says alternative to petroleum-based fibers.
And C says this has inspired researchers to develop a new petroleum-based fabric. No, they are doing an alternative to petroleum-based fabric, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is very clear. They are not even close. C for sure will not be an answer. So Ray, I want to discuss one thing with you, and you will help me to understand what's happening. So I see that you are able to tend to the right option, but then along the way you also pick another option which may be close or not close, but you try to pick two options. You are able to eliminate two correct ones, but you are getting confused now. Where is the problem actually? What is troubling you here? Like in this particular question, what did you miss? Did you
I'll be like the answer, but then I would switch up for some reason, and then I always get that question wrong.
And how many readings are you doing for a given passage? Do you read it once or you read it twice?
I read the whole paragraph once and then I see the options and then I will go back and read the specific lines. That might be the reason.
And you would read specific line as per the options.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like I would just like try to compare those things.
Okay. So that means the worst case scenario is that you may read it 4 times because you will read it for option A or B or C and D.
Mhm.
So while you're reading, are you also highlighting some important phrase, words while you're reading?
I mean, I'm not doing it right now because it's on the computer.
It
But
will
then
be
when I read,
allowed to you when you're doing it in exam. They will give you an on-screen highlighter.
okay, yeah, I would just make lines.
Yes, try and do that. Maybe that will help you. Let's try another question.
Wait, I had a this so it says to protect themselves when being attacked, hagfish, and then there is a line. Shouldn't that be a comma? Because like they're explaining what hagfish is.
Hold on. You'll have to go a bit slow. Help me out. Go slow. Yes.
So in the first line, it says to protect themselves when being attacked, hagfish, and then there is this line for some reason. So shouldn't that line be just a comma? Explain what hagfish is, and then another comma.
Yes.
So
yes. So what should you underline? Are you asking me what should you highlight?
No. I'm just making sure that why would they put that line instead of a comma?
Hold on. To protect themselves when being attacked, hagfish, and then there's a line, jawless marine, right?
Yeah.
So this, okay. So if you are asking about punctuations, I'll not be able to help you. But what I guess is that they have qualified hagfish further, and hence there's no comma. They have qualified it. So there's a line where hagfish has been qualified as a jawless marine animal.
Okay. Got it.
So let's come down to question number, yes, 10th one. Question 10. This is little interesting and challenging. I'll again give you 2 minutes. 10th, NASA.
Is it D?
D is correct. Any confusing option?
No, not this time.
Why not C? Why not C? I'll tell you. So let me try and confuse you then.
Okay.
C says Rodden and colleague created a new computer model that identifies moon with hidden oceans without needing to analyze moon's rotation.
It says it's a new computer model, and
Yes.
in the thing it doesn't say if it's a new or a used one. I don't know.
Okay. That's one. And my reasoning will be, though they created new computer model, but that model has not identified. If you read second line, using a computer model to study this moon's gravitational interaction. So this new computer model is actually studying gravitational interaction instead of analyzing moon's rotation. So it is studying gravitational interaction rather than the rotation.
Okay, yeah. I didn't look at that.
Yeah, so computer model was a tool, and that tool studied gravitational interaction rather than the rotation of. Okay, sure. But anyway, D is correct.
Okay.
And the last one, should we do this? Yes, this is interesting. 12th one.
Well,
Question number 12.
I'm pretty sure I have done this.
You have done this before?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the answers.
Okay, then let's do it. Let's do it once again.
I think it's one of the most popular usage channels.
This is detail oriented. This is not main idea.
It didn't give rise to that woman musical. It has been unjustly ignored by. It has been unfairly. Okay, I'm confused between B and C.
Confused between B and C.
B and C.
And let's say in the exam, if you have to pick one, which one would you go? Take 30 more seconds. Pick one with a reasoning.
Most scholars, despite the first sentence is right, despite the importance of the team's interest. Oh, I might go with C. Is it right?
Correct. So what was the problem with B? Why didn't you go with B? What gave away B?
Importance of the what do you call it? It says many of the addressed by many of the genres, something like that.
Right. So I'll read it for you. Disco remains one of the most ridiculed popular genre of late 20th century. But as scholars have argued, the genre is far less than superficial. Now, if you look into this, it has been unjustly ignored by most scholars. It's totally contradicting to what the passage says. Passage says that scholars have argued that this genre is far less superficial. They think that this genre has a lot of depth. Whereas option C says it has been unjustly ignored by most scholars. No, scholars are not ignoring it. This is contradicting. So answer is C. Answer is C. Okay? Oh, yeah. It has been unfairly dismissed for the inclusion of subject matter that is also found in other musical genres. Just because it talks about, love and heartbreak, people have dismissed it, but it is more serious than that, is what they are talking about. Okay. So we take a small break and then we resume. Okay. See you in 5 minutes.
सर रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करना है?
आप पॉज कर दो,
हाँ सर,
अभी पॉज कर दो, ब्रेक है, बाद में चालू करना।
ठीक है ठीक है।
Shall we?
Yeah, are we doing?
Okay.
Fine.
So, yes, Riya. Were you saying something?
Yeah, are we doing chapter 4, chapter 5?
Anushka? Anushka, you please put on the recording. आप recording on कर देना. Yes, Riya, I missed what you were saying.
Are we doing chapter 4 or chapter 5?
We are doing chapter 5 now. So if you realize we are doing the odd chapters first, we are doing 1, 3, 5, 7, then we'll go for 2, 4, 6, 8.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we'll come down to chapter 5, which is simpler chapter, talking about word in context. So on your SAT paper, you'll have 2 modules, module 1 and module 2, and you should get around 4 to 5 problems under each module on word in context type questions. Now, this is more about reading comprehension and vocabulary. So this would take care of your reading comprehension skills and your vocabulary, how good is your vocabulary. But these questions will never ask you direct meaning of a word. Rather, there are 2 things that you must know. One is the contextual meaning of the word, how it is used in a sentence, so we must know that. And second is connotation of the word. What is that word sounding like? Is it a positive connotation word, or is it with a negative connotation word when used under certain context? Now, the beauty with such, and you should have a very high accuracy with such questions. The point with contextual words is, Ray, that in a given passage, you will be asked either to fill in the blank, or you may be asked meaning of the word as used in the passage. And that particular word will also have a meaning in following lines inside that passage. I'll just tell you. So it's all about finding the precise meaning among of all the options you have. So you'll have to look for precise meaning, and this meaning of the word should be reinforced somewhere in the passage at some point of the time, either before that word appears or after that word appears. So precise meaning we'll have to look for among the 4 options, and that meaning should reinforce the passage theme. So for example, let me share a small connotation. You understand positive and negative, right? So if I tell you, like we I've seen this ominous dark cloud. So whether I know or not meaning of this word ominous, but because I am talking about dark clouds, so I'm talking about something that is gloomy, something that is sad, something mishap. So for sure, ominous has a negative connotation, right?
Yeah.
These 2 things, the contextual meaning, looking for precise meaning that reinforces the theme of passage, and connotation, positive or negative sound with respect to the context, will help us solve such problems. So let me use an example to prove my point. I will stop share, go back, basic share, question on this one, this one. Okay. It recommends Baufi collecting song I sing. Noted that pieces by the spoken word poet don't lose their dash nature when printed. The language has the same pleasing musical quality on the page as it does when performed by fire. Which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? So this is more of fill in the blanks, but of this type. Let me give you all 4 options. Sorry, you pick one.
Recommending songs. That since that spoken word poet don't lose their dash nature when printed. The language has same pleasant music quality on the page as it does when it performed by singing. Oh yeah. It's gonna be C.
Which one?
C.
Did you say D, personal?
No, C.
C, melodic.
Yeah.
Okay. So of the 4 options, which one is ruled out first? Straight away.
Personal.
Personal. Okay, let's see. Noted the piece by the spoken word poet don't lose their personal nature when printed. The language has same pleasant musical quality as on page as it when it is performed. Now, though personal nature is a phrase, but in the following part of this passage, there is nothing that mentions or distantly relates to personal. Hence, personal cannot be the answer, because if I use personal after the colon, it should have been reinforced. We are missing that. Okay. What about jarring?
That's not the option.
Because jarring is exactly.
I chose melodic.
I know, but I'm trying to reason out with you why not jarring.
Okay.
Because if you look at this, jarring is exactly opposite of this. Jarring is a sound possibly which is frustrating or irritating. Now it says it has the same pleasant musical quality. So it is not reinforcing, rather if I use jarring, it is contradicting. And as with personal, so with scholarly, melodic makes a lot of sense because melodic means a pleasant musical piece. Right? So answer is melody. Okay. So this was slightly simpler. Let's look at one more. Okay. I have to
Last question.
give the best contextual meaning of quality.
It's an A.
It's a 100%. Yes, correct. Answer is A. Quality here stands for more about the characteristics of that. So if you go to the third line, which is resourcefulness of movement that is so peculiarly American, that comes, and I suppose with absence of, so it's all talking about the particular characteristics of this individual. Standard prestige accomplishment, they don't make sense. So any doubtful option? Otherwise, you're right. I don't have anything to add in this particular question. Okay, we'll do one more. This is where I'll discuss. Yes, this is a good one. it should reinforce the whole idea, the word that you replace of the passage.
Um,
And this
Yes.
is yes.
Contributed to a groundbreaking study challenging the female participation in hunting boys. Commonplace wouldn't make sense. Satisfactory wouldn't make sense. So it's C or D.
C or D, right?
But wait, let me read the second part. The research team's review of data. As many as half of the hunters in those. Oh, is it?
This is, this is where the entire juice is, the line that you just read, last two lines.
Yeah.
In fact, as many as half of the hunters in those populations were female. Half of the hunters. So would you say negligible?
Negligible is.
No. Yeah. Negligible? Okay, let's see. As an undergraduate research in anthropology, J.C. Chen contributed to a groundbreaking study challenging the accepted view that that view is prehistoric people, female participation in hunting was, I'm putting a C option here, negligible. Okay, so he's challenging that. The researcher team review of this data in this revealed, in fact, as many as half of the population was female. Negligible makes a lot of sense. So there was a claim that there are negligible. This claim was challenged, and in fact, a contrarian view came out, though that was that no, almost 50% or more were females. So you were absolutely right when you ruled out commonplace. You were absolutely right, because commonplace, if you challenge that and then you come back to again 50-50, then there's no challenge. You are actually agreeing to commonplace. So there has to be something that is challenged from 0 to 50-50. And that 0 is negligible. Okay. Now you are confused with option D, inevitable.
No, I wasn't confused. It was basically.
Okay, you were choosing between
the sentence. It wouldn't make sense.
Yes, it would not have made any sense. Satisfactory. So satisfactory against what? So there has to be some standard, and then you will say it was a satisfactory thing. So answer is negligible. Okay. I don't know if I have more, otherwise we'll do exercise. Let's see. Okay, we go to classroom exercise. So I want you to solve question number 1. And 45 seconds. You should do it fairly quickly.
Is it D?
You said A?
D.
D.
Yeah.
I mean, see, quite frankly, I don't have anything to value add here. Your answer is absolutely right. So this is suggesting price. Marked means price. There's nothing that I can talk about. If you have a doubt between options, let me know. Otherwise, I have nothing to add. Okay.
Other sentences wouldn't make sense. Other words wouldn't make sense.
Yes, so this was fairly straight. Question number 2. I'll give you 1.5 minutes. A good question. Very good question. Number 2.
Okay. This like the surface confused on. A singular change. Oh, I know this one. Because what do you call? Yesterday, I was searching of what does extraordinary, like the synonyms of extraordinary, and there was this a singular, so it's D.
Yes, correct. Answer is D, which is extraordinary. So
you can still explain me. I'm not sure. It was just because yesterday I searched up the synonyms. That's all.
Yeah. So let me help you out then. Maybe you are recalling from, maybe you have solved it earlier. A singular change began to be visible, and they're asking what does the phrase a singular mean? So something began to be visible, the crushed dried petals stirred and assumed a deepening tinge of crimson, as if flowers were reviving from a death-like slumber. So a phenomena like reviving from death, rising from death, in any way is not an ordinary phenomena. This is not an everyday or a common phenomena. So they are asking, what does singular mostly mean? Does it mean lonely? A lonely change began to be visible. A disagreeable, not talking about, both are negative. You know, coming out of death is more of a positive thing. And lonely and disagreeable are negative connotation words. So you will not select them. Whereas an acceptable, now this is coming from death, though it is acceptable, but this is more out of, I think D is a better option, which says extraordinary. Third one, question number 3.
Also, I don't know most of these meanings. I don't know most of these words.
But still, would you want to take a guess with?
Yeah. So immature, behavior is inconsistent, dispersion, flowers in dense patches are immature. This makes sense. Dispersed. What it makes sense. Depleted. Okay, I don't know what A means, so I'll just go with B. Or
B.
A. B or A. I don't know what B, A means. So no,
So,
I said
there is one, you know. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
B and A. B or A. B or A.
And you said you don't know what does A mean, right?
Yeah.
So if I've understood it correctly, let me advise you. If let's say you have this dichotomous situation where you have to pick one you understand, one you don't understand. In such a case, always pick an option. Let's say this is a real test. You pick an option that you understand, and you don't pick an option that you don't understand. So if you don't understand A, I'll take your answer as B. But let's say, is it A or B? So this is a good one. It's talking about some research, and it says, at first, sorry, we're doing the third one. Third one says, some foraging model predicts that distance B traveled while foraging will decline as floral density increases. So if there's a higher density of fauna around, flowers around, bees won't travel much. But this biologist, they say that bees' behavior is inconsistent, which means they don't agree with what you're saying. They say that if flowers are in dense patches, lot of flowers are dash, bee will forage, that means will go for food seeking behavior beyond these patches of low species richness. There may be dense flowers, but diversity is less to acquire multiple resource type. Okay. So even the density is there, but if they are of same type, bees would still travel to a larger distance where you have multiple resource type of flowers. Okay.
Yeah.
So B or A?
B.
B. So even if there is a higher density, but they are alike, they are homogeneous, they look same, bees would travel a greater distance to a place where they have more diversity. A stands for depleted. Depleted means, now this is the opposite of density. Density, you have a lot of things packed into one. Depleted, where scarcity is depletion. You know, environmental depletion, ozone layer depletion. So depletion. So it's not about depletion. It's about homogeneity is what bees don't like. It's not about density. It is about homogeneity. They don't like this. They like heterogeneity, more diverse species, so that they can collect nectar. Fourth one. This is fairly straightforward. Let me give you a minute's time. Question number 4.
Okay.
If you don't understand the option, never pick it. Rather,
Okay.
eliminate the ones you understand. Pick the one you understand.
This one is B.
This one is B. Any confusing option?
No.
Okay. So again, I have no points because option A and D are exactly opposite, make no sense. Avoided red and green, disregarded red and green. So answer is B, feature. Question number 5. This is a good one. I'll give you 2 minutes. Question number 5.
Is it D?
D, right?
No, D. Yeah.
Any confusing option?
No.
Answer is correct.
Okay.
Why not A or B?
A or B. It says he directed the ballet somewhere, and then which vividly something like that. I don't know what those words is, but like I think it's connected to is a suitable choice. That's why I just selected D.
Yes. No, so your reasoning is absolutely right. So it is talking about something that is vivid,
Yeah.
full of color, life, energy. So this is a positive word. Vivid chronicle. Osage history and culture. Telling Osage history through ballet is dash choice because of two and blah blah. Now, if you look at A and B, both are negative connoted word. Arbitrary. Arbitrary is random and unpredictable. But if you look at D, which is suitable, so he was telling stories through ballet. Ballet suitable choice is a good choice, is a best fitment choice. Hence, answer is D. Question number 6, Ray.
Only text adapted by some. Should we always read that top part?
Go
Should we
ahead.
always read that top part? On question number 6, it says the following text adapted. Should we read that or should we just skip that part?
No, so you can really skip that. But at times it may help you just to identify, is it literature, science, research, and then if literature is your strong area, you may want to attack those problems first. So that is the only usage. Otherwise, it's not making any sense.
Can I go downstairs? I have to open the door.
Sure, please do.
What question are we doing?
Yes, question number 6.
Okay.
And 2 minutes.
I think I've done this question.
Okay, so the answer is
Option A.
A is correct.
No.
Anything that you think is confusing or we should
Yeah,
listen?
when I was doing this, when I solved this question, I don't know why I chose option D.
D. Okay, so let's see this. So there's somebody who wants to travel and go far from the village. This person has a mother and she always takes refuge, which means uses this as her shield or argument in self-pity and tears. She is not concerned with desires of her son because she doesn't understand them. She wants to stay at this place. The son wants to travel. And they are asking, what does this phrase reconcile his mother to mean? So I'll read it. John had on several occasions attempted to reconcile his mother to the notion, but found it a difficult task. Now let's come down to all the options. So B for sure is not the answer because we are not talking about apologizing here. Reconcile means get his mother to reunite with. Now let me tell you, I find that A, C and D, they are equally good options or good candidates. But if I have all three of them, C says get his mother to match his desire, maybe makes sense. But get his mother to reunite with what? Reunite with lost land, some person that you have missed and found for thing, but reunite to what? Get his mother to accept, agree that this is a good thought and they must travel or he must travel. This is a problem which is not able to tackle. So it's not about matching. He doesn't want his mother to match. Rather, he wants his mother to agree that he should sail and go beyond sea. You know, so reuniting to what is a big problem, and hence D is not the answer because they have not lost their land or left their land and they've come to some place.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 7.
Broad colors of comics, pop art, and Latinx culture always fascinated her. It's passion for richness. Is it D?
Yes. Why D? So what's the problem with A, B, C?
They don't make sense.
Yeah, so if you look at, I'll tell you, so let me give you a logic behind that. Your answer is correct. Visual artist states that bold colors of cosmic pop art, Latinx culture have always fascinated her. Fascination has a positive connotation. This passion for rich history and color translates into dash artwork she produces. So this also has to be a positive connotation word, right? So if you look at unknown, reserved, they are negative connotation. So A and B cannot be answered. Let's look at C. Translate into definite artwork she produces. Makes no sense, definite artwork. But vivid artwork. Fascination and vivid. Makes a lot of sense, go hand in hand. Answer will be D. 8th one, question number 8. And this is a good one, so I'll give you close to 2 minutes.
Is it C?
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Answer is C. Unlikely to be uniform. Okay. Any option that is confusing here?
No.
So even I don't have any point to make. So I'll go to the ninth one, question number 9 now. So word in context questions are the ones which should be attacked at all costs, should be done at all costs. They're easier and faster.
Okay. The time and effort people spend to make donations when charitable giving charities my as a fight. Largely independent of donation size. Largely predictive. So A, it's not going to be A.
Correct.
It's not going to be D. Supplemental to donation size. Yeah, I think it's C. Because like charities are independent to donations.
Correct.
Okay.
What do you mean by this word?
What do you mean?
Option B I'm talking about.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know. I just left it. I don't know. That's why.
Okay.
I didn't
So
try to read it.
I'll read this for you. I'll read this passage for you.
Okay.
An economist and colleague, they showed the nuisance cost, the time and effort people must spend to make donation reduce charitable giving. Charities can mitigate this effect by compensating donors for the nuisance cost, but those costs, though variable, are largely dash the donation size. Now they are dash, so this cost that somebody bears is dash of the donation size. If you say subsumed, it means it is consumed, it is included into. So included into the donation size, cost and size, they are not of the same unit, they cannot be included into one other. So answer is not B. Answer will be C. They are independent of donation size. So charities that compensate donors will likely favor attracting a few large donors over many small donors.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go to question number 10.
Is it D?
It dash approximately 200 square kilometers.
Yeah, I'm confused between C and D.
C and D. Okay, let's see. Why? What between C and D? So yes, answer is one between C and D. Let me read this. There's this biologist who have located what is believed to be the largest individual plant in the world in Shark Bay area of Australia. The plant is a type of seagrass. It's called something, and it dashed the approximate 200 square kilometers. Let's say you are talking about advances. Okay, so when you use this word advances, what does this mean? What are you referring to?
It goes forward.
The enemy advances. So you're talking about some rate, maybe some kind of speed or some kind of growth. because this is advanced, right? Now, this is some kind of rate of growth, speed, growth in an area. If you read that phrase, it says dash approximately 200 square kilometer. Sorry. I can write it like this. Square kilometer by what? Per hour, per 1,000 meter of water body, per what? Per second, per year. So because this is not mentioned, the advance will not be of any rate, growth or speed, but it spans over, it covers 200 square kilometer area. Hence answer is C. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Advance here would mean, or advance in any situation, army advancing, sales growth rate advances, economy advances, income. So all that is some rate or growth or decline. It has to do with some speed or rate.
Okay.
Let's come down to 11th one.
11th question. Research found that remote video conferencing tools may be less content based on mental impression, meaning researchers that video meetings are focused on staring at speaker and speak don't allow their eyes or mind wander as much. And the first three options doesn't make sense. Or I don't know what option D is.
So first three options are not making sense.
No, I mean they don't make sense in the context, and I don't know what the option D means.
Okay, but you know what three first option means, right?
Yeah.
And because you know their meaning, you also know, like you say, you also know that they don't fit in.
Hmm.
So your obvious choice is
Option D.
okay. Let's check. Tell me one simple thing, and you will arrive at answer, and you will see if this is the right one. Tell me a simple thing. The word that will come between ultimately and creativity goes like this. No? Ultimately dash creativity. Creativity, yes, creativity. What will be the connotation of this word? Will you have a positive connoted words or negative connotation word?
Negative.
Negative, right? Now, if you look at negative words, among A, B, C, D, D, you don't know the meaning of D, but among A, B, C, which are the positive connotation words?
Option A and option C.
Absolutely. If you recommend something, it is positive connotation. Constructing something is a positive connotation. So A and C for sure cannot be the answer. The fight is between B and D. Now, criticize is not making any sense. Ultimately, criticize creativity. It's not making sense because what you're saying is video conferencing is a lesser preferred medium over in-person meeting for brainstorming, because in video conferencing, ultimately it dash the creativity. It criticizes the creativity? No. So that is gone. Answer is impede. Your answer is correct. Impede means something that you stop. So impede ko how do you remember? Speed. Speed ka opposite impede. A hurdle, a barrier.
Basically obstruct.
Obstruct.
Okay.
Hurdle, obstruct, barrier. So that is what impede is. So it obstructs, inhibits. You can use such words. The creativity answer is D. But more than that, Ray, if you know meaning of three words, and you know that they are not the right option, you pick the fourth option.
Okay.
The last one, 12th one. I give you 2.5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know what the whole passage means.
Oh, is it? Whole passage.
It's like basically just putting random words and making up a whole sentence. I'll read again.
Give me a few seconds.
I'm appealing to viewers, but have little commentary and contemporary phenomena that may be due to very fact that the painting seems so dash. Many critics focus their attention on art that is okay. Seems so innovative, profound. Phenomena.
Okay, I'm good. Let me know whenever you are ready for discussion. This is not simple. This is not simple.
Luminous. And like an extra minute. Phenomena. Can I search up a meaning of one word?
Go ahead.
Can I?
Which one?
The second word. Not the
Second option, option B.
Option D.
Accessible.
No, option D.
Subversive.
Yeah.
Subversive. Okay. So let me give you a sentence, and you try and find the meaning of this. So government would want to have a subversive approach against any dissent from the opposition parties.
Oh, rebel, harmful.
Yeah, so they may want to, press down,
Okay.
destroy, something like that.
A phenomenon that may be. Okay, it's not option D. It's not option A.
Okay. So B and C, between B and C.
B and C. C is profound. It says critics focus on art. Which is challenging. So I cannot. What does profound mean? Like,
what does profound means?
Is it like, how should I say it? I don't know. I just know the word, but like, I don't know how to say it.
So let's say you paint something and you show me and I tell you what a profound work this is. What a profound thought.
Oh, okay. I forgot that word too. It's like insightful or something like that. So it says a phenomena that may be due to very fact that painting seems so.
What does B mean? If you get meaning of B, I think you'll be able to decide between B and C.
Is it like accessible? Is basically like approachable, reachable. Can you say that?
Absolutely. Now apply this and see. Something that is approachable, not difficult to get to.
A phenomena that may be due to very fact that painting seems so. Painting seems so easy, so that many critics focus on challenging paintings. Yeah, it's B, option B.
Hence, they are not criticizing, because they are criticizing things which are cryptic or challenging, which means they are criticizing something that is innovative, profound, not easy to understand. But if something is easy to understand, they are not criticizing. And easy to understand is, like you said, is approachable, easy to get to. And answer is B.
This question was hard.
Yes. So I'll say, yeah, this is challenging and this is what SAT is all about. So this was a very good problem. And hence I said you get maximum time, 2.5 minutes. But this is how it will happen. With this we come to, because this type of question, they require little time and we did all well. So we'll come down to an end of this session. Whenever we meet next, we'll do session 7 and I'll also pick one mathematics topic. So we'll do an hour of chapter 7, session 7 of reading, and we'll do one maths topic, which I'll borrow from Professor Uday.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Ray.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.